All right. Of course, if you go to d1softball.com, you can check out all of the lists of the D1 softball all quarter century teams. We've done everything. Done certainly the two-way players, which we broke down recently. Me and Victor did as well. But you can check out all the lists, including this one, the top 25 mid-majors, non-power four head coaches of this quarter century, Victor. Now go ahead. You have the kind of right mentioned some of the names, notables on this list, which was certainly an interesting one to get certainly a lot of people chatting a little bit about.
Yes,
Uh, but go ahead, read as you put up the list. What? Go ahead and
yes.
read some of them off.
Yes, and of course, if you're listening to us on our podcast, you can follow along. Of course, you're watching us on our YouTube channel. First of all, thank you. We're going over the list right now. Ashley Waters, head coach of Boston University. Of course, on the map with that huge upset over Oklahoma several years ago. Bill Edwards, great head coach from the conference we formerly called the CAA. Bill Coolin was the head coach of Hawaii, who stunned Alabama back in the 2010 Super Regional to get Hawaii to their first and only Women's College World Series. Bridget Orchard, friend of the podcast, not only has done it at Villanova, but did it at Fordham before coming over to Villanova. Chris Hawkins, legendary head coach, doesn't get the credit that he deserves at USC Upstate. He coached somebody that we kind of know very well, that we've had on this podcast before. Darren Mueller from North Dakota State, one of the powers in the 7 League. Now they're challenged by South Dakota State and Omaha, among others. Dr. Dot Richardson, I don't think we need to say anything else about that. The late Elaine Sorrento, the head of that powerful UMass program in the early 2000s. Of course, that super regional they made in 2006. Eugene Lenti. Now, I want to stress, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing this list based on the field accomplishments. That's why Coach Lenti is on this list. Fran Troyan from Lehigh. So I got to see his teams up close in person for a few seasons when they were playing in Florida. Frank Reed from Chattanooga, 11 conference championships, 11 NCAA tournament appearances. Gordon Eakin. Now, again, we are considering BYU's time before they were in the Big 12. Perennial tournament team all the way from 2005 to 2021. Super regional appearance in 2010. Jana McGinnis from Jacksonville State, of course, led the Gamecocks to the Super Regionals in 2009 when they were in the Ohio Valley. The late Joan Joyce, I don't think we need to talk about too much about her accomplishments. They speak for themselves. I saw a lot of her 2000 teams up close and in person. John Barfelt, Eric, a name that you've seen very often when Tulsa was in Conference USA in the American. Kelly Ford recently retired from Cal State Fullerton. Karen Erickson, one of our longtime friends, the patriarch of that USF program with the Women's College World Series appearance in 2012. Carrie Blaylock, the leader of Southern Illinois, reached over 750 wins. Kim Souter recently retired at Long Beach State. Her and Coach Ford had many battles in the last week of the regular season to decide the Big West Championship. Christy Bredbender from Wichita State. Of course, Wichita State's been one of the top non-power four programs in the last several years. Kayla Hollis, a name area that you know from Houston with that juggernaut program. Yep, a name that you saw many times. Michael Lateef from Louisiana. Want to say Louisiana. Mickey Dean, his time at James Madison. Of course, we had his now head coach, Lauren Laporte, on the previous episode. The aforementioned guests that you heard on the podcast, Ricky Woodard from Texas State and Roy Cortman from Long Island. Ms. Lopez, I'm going to be honest with you right now. Great list. But how do we have a list without Margie Wright from Fresno State? Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, because I did some research.
But keep in mind, these are what you did this century, not so from 2000 on.
Oh, don't worry. 588 wins. They only coached 13 seasons, made the NCAA tournament in 12 of those seasons, 7 regular season WAC championships, 2 WAC tournament championships, won them both in 2009, 8 trips to the regional finals. 5 of them, she was 1 win away from making it to either the Women's College World Series or the Super Regionals. And coached phenomenal players like Lovey Jung, Jamie Southern, who was a 3-time first-team All-American, and Christina Clark, among others. So I agree with our friend Andrew Haynes, who saw a lot of that action up close and person in Fresno before he came to Austin and is the voice of the reigning defending national champions. So I think Coach Wright is a clear miss by our esteemed committee. So I think Coach Wright has to be on this list.
Well, I can tell you, what I can tell you, I can tell you she had a lot of votes. It's not like it was like, oh, hey, we forgot names. It was tight. Now, again, you have a rule.
If I take someone, put someone on the list, I have to take someone off the list. And
so who are you taking out?
As much as we love Coach Christy Breadburner, Coach Breadburner has to give way to Margie Wright. That's on my list.
About that. All right, continue. Is that your one omission?
No. That's not my only gripe, Mr. Lopez.
All right.
Considering that between the two of us, we've seen a lot of this person's wins.
Sure.
How did Renee Gillespie not get put on this list? All she did was build UCF from a palm tree to where dorms are residing right now, led UCF to 3 conference championships and 3 different conferences, I mind you, 2005 in the Atlantic Sun, 2008 in Conference USA, 2015 in the American. How did Coach Renee Gillespie not get included in this top 25? As the voice of UCF, Mr. Lopez, I ask for your response, please.
Don't look at me. I had her in my ballot. And I'll tell you exactly. I had her in over Roy Cortman. I'm going to play by your rules. I would have had her in over Cortman of Long Island. I actually understand the Margie Wright. The Margie Wright deal, I think what happened there, her success prior to this century, I feel like kind of may have hurt her in this process because it did not come close to what she accomplished before the 2000s. Does that make sense to you? I'm not saying you have to agree with it. I'm not saying, I'm just trying to explain to what I think might have happened there. And again, I will tell you, you're not the only person that would full support of Margie. This was not like, hey, you're in an island there. I was obviously on the Coach Gillespie camp. No surprise there. I was not thrilled when I found out she did not make the list. So I'm with you. And again, I'm going on record. If it was me, I had her easily over Coach Cortman, with all due respect to Coach Cortman at Long Island. But I agree with you. Coach Gillespie got them to won conference championships in 3 different conferences, the ASUN, CUSA, and the American, and got to the regional finals. I don't know, but if you're gonna punish her because she didn't win a regional, well, good luck. Good luck winning a regional in this state.
We have a lot of. Here's the thing, Eric. We have a lot of coaches in this list that made super regionals,
right?
But we're punishing her because she didn't make a super regional. She's gotten close.
Sure, I agree.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, do you agree with me? You would have put her over Cortman?
Yeah, I'll have to put over. I would simply only because she started a program from scratch.
Yeah,
she built the program to where she laid the foundation, and then Cindy Ball Malone came in and built the house that is UCF softball right now. That's the thing.
You're not getting an argument from me. I would have. That's what I would have. That's what I had.
So let me ask you this question then, Mr. Lopez. So you agree? So I agree with you with Coach Gillespie being on the list over Coach Cortman. Do you have Margie Wright on the list as well? And if so, who are you taking out?
I'm trying to remember what I'm looking at my ballot here. So I'm looking up my notes. what I did. I can't speak for everybody. Okay, so you're kind of, you know what I mean? I can't speak for everybody.
I know you
I'm
can
just
only
trying to.
speak for you and your ballot. For the record, ladies and gentlemen, I did not have a ballot. So
So I did not have Margie Wright for the reasons that I have explained. I mentioned earlier. While she did very well, the whack back then was not very strong, and I just liked Renee better than Margie Wright this century. That's what I did because I like Frank. I mean, who else are you going? I mean, Frank Reed. Look at the job he's done at Chattanooga. You cover Chris Hawkins. You've covered Chris Hawkins.
yeah,
You
I
know,
was there. I was there in the land the weekend he picked up his 1,000th career win.
yeah. Joan Joyce. You covered Joan Joyce in their peak
Yep.
of those FAU
I mean,
deals. So I like what Brad Benner's done at Wichita State. I had her. I'm actually looking at the list here. I had her on my ballot. I mean,
and I know there'll be people, and I know there'll be people who say, well, what about Bob Coolin? Well, he took Hawaii into the Rhodes House and stunned Alabama, who was the #1 overall seed in 2010, to get Oklahoma City. And look at that roster on that 2010 Alabama team. Now, keep in mind, Hawaii was mashing home runs at a ridiculous rate that season. Look at the stats of that 2010 Hawaii team. And fittingly enough, their trip to the World Series was clinched on a walk-off home run. Back when the Super Regionals were the host team were the home team in game 1. The visiting team was the home team in game 2, not the current format that it is today.
So yeah, I just looked at it. I had Renee in, I had Cortman out. That was everybody else like sort of had. I understand though the gripe about Margie Wright. I'm not gonna say you don't have a case. Look, you could I wasn't the one that came up with 25 be the number. Wish it was 26 to 30. But that's not the number. So and unfortunately, I didn't obviously we clearly neither of the people we have brought up had enough votes. That's all I can tell you. I'm not thrilled about it either. But that's why this is our version. So that's there. But I'm just bummed out about it. I was generally bummed out about it because I mean I even obviously with Joan Joyce. I mean, let me ask you this. Because you covered peak Joan Joyce versus Gillespie UCF FAU rivalry there. Who'd you have taken of the two? Because you covered it right up close.
If I had to choose one or two, can I take them both?
Just pick one. Who would you have ranked that one ahead of the other? Because you were right there in the middle. You saw slight edge.
If I had to pick one, Joyce.
Sure. Yeah.
If I had to pick one, it had to be Joyce.
I mean, Ashley Waters has done an incredible job dominating the Patriot League since she's taken over Boston. So I had her.
I remember Fran Troyer and Lehigh were the powerhouses there in that league before Waters came over to Boston and took over that program.
It's a tough list. Darren Mueller, North Dakota State, has done a good job. Hawkins, you mentioned. Barthel Tulsa has been a machine. Kyla Hollis twice was within one win away of the World Series with Houston. So that's why, again, I had Renee in. I didn't have Cortman. It sounds like you would have had Margie Wright in and put Cortman out probably.
And honestly, I would have put Renee in too.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, at least we do. In our own list, we have them. That's something.
Yeah. But Ms. Lopez,
go ahead. With
the list that we currently have,
go for
it is now time for our least favorite exercise in all of exercises. And that is the soon-to-be rechristened Victor A-list. I'm still working on the name in progress, ladies and gentlemen. What that means, Ms. Lopez and myself, of the 25 names, we must select 5. You see, Eric, you see this? For those of you watching on YouTube, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 coaches. 5 coaches. So, since I had the first pick when we had the Power 4 head coaches, by the way, if you missed that exercise, click on the descriptions below if you're watching us on a YouTube page. Eric, I will give you honors for the first pick for the non-Power 4 head coaches.
Man, come on now. I can't defer.
You cannot defer. This is not football. You cannot defer your action to the second pick.
Can I not trade?
No trades.
This will be an interesting one, what we end up doing here, because there's a lot of parity in this one. You could go in a lot of different directions and really go with whatever direction you want to go with. I'm going to go with Ken Erickson, South Florida. Led him to the World Series, won conference championships in the Big East, won championships in the American. The lifer at South Florida is South Florida. Bleeds.
Yes.
Build a beautiful facilities there. I'm going to go Ken Erickson.
Fair. I that would have been my first pick if I had the first pick. So I am up for my next two. You think it's easy, but then you're like, oh, I can pick this person. Oh, I can wait this one. So with my first pick, I will go with someone who had a darn good chance to make it to Oklahoma City last year. I'm going to take Doc Richardson with my first pick. Maybe a little bit of recency bias. By the way, congratulations to Coach Richardson on starting her new podcast. We hope to have her on a future episode to talk about that and trying to get back to the Super Regionals in 2026. We'll talk about that with her. And then for my second pick, I will go with Michael O'Teague from Louisiana.
Yeah, good choice.
Led up to 3 World Series appearances. Made a tournament every year from 2003 to 2018. And again, we're dealing with the matters on the field. So Michael O'Teague is my second choice. So now, Ms. Lopez, you are up for your 2 picks.
Well, I'm going to stay in the Sun Belt, and I'm going to take the person I just spoke to, Ricky Woodard, who might be the most underrated coach on this list.
I think so.
11 NCAA tournaments. But think about it. Transitions from the Southland to the WAC to the Sun Belt. They're going to go to the PAC. And I think the program is as good as it's ever been. I'm going to take Ricky Woodard. So I will take that. And then.
And she knows how to develop some arms. See Randy Rupp, see Jessica Mullins.
Correct. I get one more pick?
Yes, you do.
I'm going to take Kyla Hollis. Led Houston within 1 win of the World Series twice. 2008 with the great Angel Shamblin, and once again in 2011. A little underrated. You look at it, put it this way: Houston's only made 2 NCAA tournaments. Should see her and Houston parted ways back in 2016. So I'm going to go a little Kyla Hollis there. So I'm going to go with Ricky Woodard and Kyle Hollis with my 2 picks.
Okay. So I am up for 2 picks.
Kyla, by the way, has done a great job with the young U.S. national team.
Yes, phenomenal job
as well. So, yeah,
done a phenomenal job. This next, So for my first of my next 2 picks, I will go the late Elaine Sorrento from UMass.
Elaine Sorrento.
Like you think about UMass. UMass was really like the first true power program in the Northeast that kind of built the way for the Hofstras and the James Madisons and eventually the Bostons and the Lehighs. So I think Coach Sorrento should get her proper recognition. I'll put her on my A list for my first of 2. And then my second one, this is going to be controversial, but again, we're dealing with on the field success, on the field accomplishments. I'll go with Eugene Lenti from DePaul. 3 College World Series appearances, 2000, 2005, 2007. 9 conference championships between the Conference USA and the Big East. Yes, I know things did not end well for him in the end, but when you're considering what the Blue Demons were, you can make an argument that they were the best team that played with a ball and a bat in the city of Chicago. And yes, that does include the Cubs and the White Sox because they were not good during that time frame, outside of 2016, of course, and 2005 when the White Sox won it all. So that's my 2 picks, Mr. Lopez. Just to recap your team so far, you have Ken Erickson, Ricky Woodard, and Kayla Hollis. I have Dr. Dot Richardson, Michael O'Teef, Elaine Sorrento, and Eugene Lenti. You have 2 more picks, sir. Did you just get help for your last pick?
I don't know. I was not a life.
I literally just heard your phone go off.
That was really perfect timing. I'm gonna go John Barfield, Tulsa. I mean, that guy was brilliant X's and O's. Conference won the American Conference Championships, won the USA Championships. So I'm gonna go John Barfield.
He's the kid. There's a reason, Eric. Eric and I had an inside joke in our early stages of Inner Circle. We called a conference tournament the Tulsa Invitational or the John Barfield Invitational because every year, regardless of how Tulsa played, they would find themselves in the conference championship game. Every year.
Correct. And my last pick, is this my last pick?
This is your last pick, yes.
It's tough. I'm going to go Gordon Eakin, BYU. Think about this. BYU NCAA tournament program from 05 to 21, made the Super Regionals in 2010, did it in various conferences, from West Coast Conference, Mountain West, you name it, every imaginable conference. They've adjusted. I mean, I know it doesn't count, but even in this transition to the Power 4 conference, they've been the first 4 out. Each of the first couple of years they've been in the Power 4. So I'm going to go with Gordon Eakin.
All right. So I have one.
Look, that was tough. I hated this. I hate your game, Vic. I really do. I hate you.
Hey, you're the one. Hey, you're the one that keeps insisting on playing it.
At least if Shea Cornett was the host of this, I would feel better. But congrats to Shea Cornett. I think.
Shout out Shea Cornett, new host of First Take.
I hope is that a congratulations or anyway? I'm not gonna.
Yes, it's a congratulations.
All right, thank you.
All right, so we have one more pick. I have one more pick. I considered Lloyd Cortman from Long Island. I considered Kerry Blaylock from Southern Illinois. I considered Kelly Ford. I considered Kim Souder. But I would be guilty of not respecting my roots if I did not pick the late, great Joan Joyce for my final pick. You look at when you think about the A-Sun in the early 2000s, it was FAU and everyone else was battling who would lose to them in the conference championship game. That's how dominant the Owls were before UCF finally broke through in 2005. And then to see what this program has become under Coach Jordan Clark, thriving in the American Conference, being the only non-Power 4 school to get an at-large bid in the tournament last year. That is all. I said this with Coach Renee Gillespie. Joan Joyce was and still is, to an extent, FAU softball. And Coach Clark is doing a phenomenal job of continuing that legacy. So I would take the late Joan Joyce with my 5th and final pick on the Victor A list. So to recap, ladies and gentlemen, Eric has selected Ken Erickson, Ricky Woodard, Kayla Hollis, John Barfield, Gordon Eakin. My 5, Dr. Dot Richardson, Michael O'Teef, Elaine Sorrento, Eugene Lenti, and Joan Joyce. Follow in the
Sortino, by the way. Sortino, for the record.
Sortino, thank you. My apologies. On Thursday, we will announce how you can vote which one of us had the best Victor A list over all of our topics from the D1 softball all-quarter century team. So you're going to get to choose who had the best list in terms of non-Power 4 head coaches, who had the best Power 4 head coaches, who had the list of the best hitters, the best pitchers, the best two-way players.
I think we have one more. I think we still got to go over pitchers at some point.
Yes, we're going to be doing that. You're right. You're right. So we will announce how you'll vote and when you'll vote, when the voting will start on Thursday.
We can cancel that if you want. I mean, I'm exhausted mentally.
Hey, we still got one more to go. And honestly, I think that was going to be the hardest one of them all.
Yeah, great. Oh, that's awesome. That's unbelievable.
But Mr. Lopez, Lopez, let's remind everybody, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, hit that like button. hit subscribe, turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of the interviews or these segments that will be available on our YouTube channel. And also, we will have some exclusive content that you can only find on our Inner Circle YouTube channel, mainly with me. Eric may make a cameo here and there as well. Who knows? But go to d1softball.com as well. Code FALL25, 25% off your annual subscription. Get the fall reports out every day. The Big 12 softball schedule has been released. Take a look out on that. We may do some exclusive content just on that and much, much more, Mr. Lopez. But that was a lot.
That was a lot.